My friends, I made some good progress on that Kay Kraft guitar, and I'll show you that. We had our lesson with the young man on the timing things, and I've got some more to tell you about that as well. And there is a bit of other just shop news that we'll talk about. We'll talk about all of that right after this. Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. It is Thursday, February 16th, which reminds me that tomorrow is another shop talk, and you all have been filling up the questions and comments and topics. So likewise today, be sure to put those things in today's video. So if you have questions, put them in today's comments section, and if you have any particular topic you want me to discuss, put that in there as well, and I'll be glad to do that. And we'll get started on the shop talk at about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, my time. Hope you can be there with us. Yes, I did some good work on this guitar. You can see it's basically back together, and the neck is in it. Can I get the neck out? Yes. The reason I had the neck in it and I had it jammed in there pretty tight is because I glued these shims on. So today I will now mark these shims where they need to be trimmed to make it a perfectly tight fit. I've already trimmed the tail off of this heel so that the neck angle can drop down. In other words, you gotta trim this section off right down here to the bottom so that it lets it drop down. Otherwise, it can't drop down past this, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we've done. We've taken enough off of there to let it drop down properly. I've checked the neck angle. It looks pretty good, but the fit was loose, so that's why I put the shims on there. And now it does fit up pretty good. We're about 1/8 of an inch from going tight, as you can see, so that'll allow me to trim that little bit off, and it'll go down and sit tight. We'll get glue in there and we'll be good to go for tomorrow. Regarding the young man and his timing lessons, I hope you'll all listen to me on this because there's a lot to this. I wanted to have a video clip ready for you today, but that would have been a little bit premature. He's doing really well, and I can tell he's really enjoying what I'm teaching him. It's very obvious, and his grandmother says he's just loving the new lessons that he's getting now. You know, I won't say anything bad about the lessons he was getting, except that it was an injustice to not work on the things we're working on. It really is. If you're not in time with your music, then you're just making noise, period. That's all you're doing. You're not playing music, because music is all about time. And I'm not talking about the obvious time that most people talk about, which is speeding up or slowing down. Sure, there's some of that, and I'm sure he's not perfect on that, but who is? Very few people are perfect on that. So I have suggested and recommended that he does use a metronome or a click track, and or that he just plays along with music that he hears on, YouTube or a video or, a downloaded musical clip, whatever, that he keep time with it. He doesn't even have to make chords, just keep time, And so he's working on all that, and he's improved immensely on all that. But there's way more to timing than that, and I know I've already discussed some of this. It's about which beat you're on, the one and the 3, or the 2 and the 4, or all 4 beats. The guitar basically hits all 4 beats, but then there's a thing about when do you come in when you're singing, and there's what we worked on yesterday. I let him try on his own about 5 or 6 times, and I stopped him each time, and he never did get it right. He never did come in singing at the right beat. He was always across the beat. He's just got a habit. So in a sense, you could say he's still in time. In other words, his singing was with his time, but he's across the time. In other words, instead of coming in singing on the 1 and the 3, he's coming in singing on the 2 and the 4. So he's backwards. He's singing backwards of his beat. It's hard to explain unless you're a musician, but it's absolutely a black and white fact that you need to come in singing at the proper time. I hear people do that in jams occasionally, even now, older people that'll get across the time and they're singing across the beat, and it sounds bad. I mean, you can still do it and you can still play that way, sort of, but it's not good. And a better example for an actual musician is, and I'm pretty sure it's this way throughout most music. I mean, there's rare moments of exception, and there's even rare moments of exception in the music we play. But for the most part, the bass is on the 1 and the 3, and the mandolin is really just hitting the 2 and the 4. And what happens a lot of times, now it doesn't happen, I want to be clear, it doesn't happen with Don. Don's a really good musician, the bass player in our band, but over the years, and I have played with a few bass players that'll get on the opposite beat. And when they're on the opposite beat, that means they're on my beat. Well, I have nothing I can do then. So I just stop because they're on my beat. So I just wait until they get it straightened out and then I come back in, you know. Anyway, that's the way he's singing. He's singing on my beat rather than on his beat, which is the 1 and the 3 for the most. The lead part of the guitar has to be the 1 and the 3, even though the guitar does hit the 2 and the 4 also. In other words, you go like, I'm exaggerating this, but like you could hit the top string and then the down string. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's, and he's coming in on the 2 and the 4 while he's singing. I hope that makes sense to you. And it really is messing him up. And so I let him try that 4 or 5 times on his own, maybe more, and he never did get it right. And I would try to explain what I was wanting him to do, and he couldn't do it. So then we worked on that, and I sang along with him, and he got used to coming in where I was coming in, and I made a bigger point of him hitting that top string and then the strum, the top string and then the strum, and that he should come in on when he hits that top string. And when he did that, he was fine. And by the end of the lesson, he was getting it pretty well. Make a long story short, there's more to timing than just timing. And he's getting it, and he understands it, and I think he's really enjoying seeing what he's been screwing up on all this time. I mean, he's doing well for a little kid that's kind of teaching himself, if you will. But, you know, I'm trying to take him to that next level, and he's definitely going to get to the next level. There's no question about that. And his grandmother, I can tell, is very, very appreciative of the help he's getting now. So it's all working out really good. You know, eventually, maybe next week we'll have a clip for you with that, but might have to wait even another week. In other news, Sue, my wife, came in and made some more deer antler saddles. I haven't even looked at them yet, but here's the ones she made yesterday, and I swear I haven't even looked at them yet. So here they are. They're not looking too bad. This one here looks bad at first because you see this big thing here, but this could be a good radius one, and that will knock off 90% of that, so that should be fine. And otherwise, that one looks really good. They all look pretty good, and she did all these on her own. I mean, there's always, you know, with antler, there's always going to be some kind of small flaw, and really these look pretty good. In fact, they look darn good on several of them. So she did a real good job. I haven't told her that yet because it's early in the morning and she's probably still sleeping. Anyway, she did that while I was working in the office yesterday. I got caught up on a lot of things. I did get caught up on a lot of emails, though I am way behind on emails. So if you've been expecting a reply from me on email, that's where it's all falling apart. No, I didn't get to work on the next video yet because I was a little bit busy helping Sue do the things she was trying to do. I'd have to run out here every few minutes and do some little minor thing to help her. But it wasn't that bad. She did 99% of it on her own. The other thing I was doing was, like I said, mostly just paperwork in there, filling orders, and getting caught up on email. So I never did actually get to the next video. Hopefully I can get on that yet today, but for sure by tomorrow, so that we'll have it out for you by the weekend. It won't be a long video. It'll probably only be a 15 or 20 minute video is what I'm expecting, but I don't really even know that for sure yet. That's about it for today. My cup runneth over is all I can say. So hopefully you'll put those questions, comments, and topics in today's video, and we will discuss those bright and early tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in today, and we will see you tomorrow.